We could try to explain what it feels like to get your work done on a John Deere. The way a Z-Track mower finishes in half the time you thought it would. Or how much easier it is to move mountains of soil with the 1 Series tractor. We could even go into detail about how it feels to tow up to 4,000 pounds behind a Gator XUV. But if you really want to know what it's like to run with us, you just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat or visit a dealer near you.
You're listening to a Mint podcast brought to you by HT Smartcast.
Hey, I'm Aprajita and you are listening to Why Not Mint Money podcast. Today's episode is very special. Today I have with me school students from Sanskriti School. It's based in Chanakyapuri, New Delhi.
Welcome to Why Not Mint Money, a personal finance podcast where we help you understand basic money concepts and share strategies for you to build your wealth. So let's get started with your money journey.
Welcome all three of you here. Welcome Renita, Maya and Rudra.
Hello.
Hi.
So excited to be here and learn new things today.
So my first question is for Renita. What is your relationship with money? How do you manage your money and how do you earn your money? Is it only pocket money or something else?
Alright, so firstly, money is very important to me because whatever I do right now, whatever I study for, it's basically only for money. And as for the management, I get pocket money once a month and I set goals for myself. For example, if I want to go to a school trip or buy something that I want, so I set a goal and then I save money accordingly every month. So that motivates me to save my money.
Okay, and where do you keep your money? The money that you save, the cash, where do you keep it?
So for now, I have a piggy bank thing, but I will be opening a bank account soon enough.
Great to know that, Renita. And now coming to Maya, what is your relationship with money? What do you do with it?
Most of the money I have is gifted to me by my parents or relatives on special occasions. And I'm more of the type of person who will save my money instead of spending it. And like say I go out, I'll note down whatever I've spent and I'll keep a record of it. That's how I manage it.
That's great. And Rudra, the same question for you.
Yes, for me, money, if I'm spending it, it's mostly like expenses where I'm like spending it with my friends. So like if it comes to saving now, so if I got 2,000 from my parents for a certain outing, so I'll try to spend maximum 1,500 from the 2,000 and 500 I'll save.
All right, but what I get the sense is that whatever little money you save, you keep it with you. You're not really investing it, you are only keeping it with you. That's right?
That's right.
Correct. And now tell me, have you heard about stock market, Sensex, Nifty, mutual funds? Have you heard about these terms?
Yes, we have heard about these.
All right, so let's discuss it. So your parents, have you ever observed where do they invest? Do they invest in stock market? Do they ever discuss Sensex and Nifty with you?
So as for my parents, they invest mostly in mutual funds.
All right.
So yeah, we invest in mutual funds and I get the records sometimes, not most of the times. But I keep an eye as to, the progress and all. I have a little idea about that. And Sensex and Nifty, the stock exchange, so I haven't seen my parents invest in that, but I know a little about it.
All right. And Rudra and Maya, would you like to add something to it?
My parents do not invest in these.
Okay, they don't invest in the stock market or mutual funds. Right. And
Yes,
Rudra?
I don't really know much about it either.
Okay, and do you follow any latest development? Are you aware of any stock market related development that may have happened in last couple of years or months? Something that you would like to mention?
I mean, we all know a little about the crashes that happened. And for example, very recently, the election one, the COVID crash. So yeah, all that we have some idea about.
Okay, now table turns. Now you are going to ask questions to me and whatever money related questions you have and something that I can help you with in your investment journey.
I have a question. So at what age do you think we should start investing?
All right, Maya. So it's a great question. I love to answer it. So I keep telling all my younger cousins that the sooner you start your investment, the better it is. So in school, you must have heard about compounding interest. you aware of that term? So compounding is it's magical, and it's called seventh wonder of the world. How? Because you are earning interest on interest, and the longer you stay in the market, the money will double sooner. That's how compounding works. 100 becomes 110, then 110 will earn more, then that amount will earn more. That's how your money grows really faster if you have spent good amount of time in the stock market. That is why the sooner you start, the better. So for example, you guys are not yet 18, you are not adult, so you cannot invest in your name by yourself. Your parents will have to play a role. They will have to act as guardian. Only then you can invest. So what I'll advise you, that open a bank account in your name, having your parents as guardian. Now whatever money you have saved, put that in your bank account, and also open a mutual fund. Very simple. There are hundreds and thousands of mutual funds in India, but I will advise that you should go ahead with Nifty Index Fund. Nifty 50 Index Fund. Note it down somewhere and start with Nifty 50 Index Fund. What it does is that Nifty, as you mentioned, Ranita, that you are aware of Nifty. So in Nifty, there are 50 companies. So whatever money you will invest, that money is going in different proportions in those 50 companies, and those are the 50 best companies of India. And if India has to grow, then those 50 companies have to grow. So your money will be safe. Start investing from today onwards, from tomorrow onwards. Just simply go home and do it. That's the crux of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a question. So as high schoolers, we're always very curious about money and how we can earn it at a really young age. So can you suggest some good hustles I can do at this age?
A good way to earn money would be writing, creating content. So I was freelancing a couple of years ago, and I used to look for people, young people, who could write for me. So the work that I'll get, I can delegate to them, and I can get it first draft at least written by them, and then I can work on it and simply produce more work. But it was really hard for me to get young professionals who can write for me. So there are industries, there are companies in the financial ecosystem who would want such people who write well. And when you are writing, one, you will earn money, and second, you will enhance your own knowledge. If you have to write a para, then you will have to at least read 5 articles, then only you can write 1 para. So it will enhance your knowledge also. So I will suggest that connect with people in the industry who are looking for content writers and start, because you are from commerce background. So obviously they will prefer you because you have that understanding. So go for it.
All right, thank you.
So I have one question. How do you think we should tackle and manage the risks involved in the stock market, especially, or other ways of investing?
So stock market, it is said that it's very risky, but there are different ways to make money from the stock market. One is simply investing in individual stocks, picking individual companies. Now, if you are putting money in one company, then you have to get into its financials, its balance sheet, how it's doing, how much profits it's earning, losses, etc. So analyzing those things is not simple. It's everyone can do it, but not many people have the time to do it, because you have other jobs also you have to study also. You may not get time to analyze those companies in that great detail, and you may not even have access to information that easily. So in that case, what happens that mutual funds have been created where someone else is doing that job on your behalf. So you have to find ways, the financial instruments that you are comfortable with. So I advise people that if you have time, then go for individual stocks. Then those individual stocks are risky, but mutual funds are not risky. So that's what it is. If somebody is trading in the stock market, futures and options you must have heard about. If somebody is doing that is risky. But mutual funds are not risky. And among mutual funds also, thousands of mutual funds are there. There are 42, around more than 40 mutual fund companies. So lot of instruments are there, lot of schemes are there. So you have to understand the simplest way of investing. And the simple you will keep it, the better it is. So I just mentioned previously that index fund. So index funds are the safest way to invest in the stock market. So today when you go home, read about what is index funds. And there are different kinds of index funds. So Nifty index fund I mentioned. Then there are Sensex index funds also. Then a Nifty 50 index fund, Nifty 150 mid cap index fund. So lot of index funds are there. The commission on those index funds, the expense ratio on those index funds is also very low, because the concept of index fund works like this, that the index has already been created. Whoever will be managing that money, they know that these are the companies and they will simply put that money in those companies. They don't have to pick companies by themselves. That is the reason why expense ratio is lower on index funds. So that is the safest way for you. And later on, as you maybe after 4 or 5 years, when you have more knowledge, when you have more money, then you can explore other options as well. But start your investment journey with index funds. That is the safest way to do it.
Thank you so much for that answer. That was quite insightful. But you mentioned the term expense ratio. I'm not quite sure what that means. Could you please elaborate about that?
Yeah, sure. So expense ratio. So if you are investing somewhere, then obviously you will have to pay some money. It will not be free entirely. So when you are investing in any mutual fund scheme, then all mutual fund schemes will have an expense ratio. Expense ratio meaning the amount that they will deduct from the profits that you earn. Okay, so usually this expense ratio is up to 2.25%. The maximum expense ratio in any mutual fund scheme could be maximum 2.25%. Now, in index funds that I mentioned, in those it will be very low, just 0.1%, 0.5%. And then there are mutual fund schemes where they will be charging more than 2%. So 0.1% and 2%, huge gap. And when you are investing large amount of money, and as your money grows year on year, that even though it sounds small, 2% will also sound small. But when it comes to huge amount of money, then this difference between 0.1% and 2% is huge. So that you need to understand. In whichever mutual fund scheme you are investing, you have to check its expense ratio.
Thank you so much.
When you earn your first salary, what would you suggest will be the first steps we take to start investing?
Okay, so as you start earning and your first salary comes in, then you have to first in your mind decide 100% if it's your salary. Then you have to think that on monthly basis how much expenses I am going to incur. So those expenses, whatever, maybe you could be living in any different city where not with your parents but single in any renting a place, then you have to pay that rent. Then or households may be different, you may have to buy groceries. So a lot of expenses could be there. So you have to keep your expenses within maybe 40 or 50%. 20% could be your expenses, so there is this concept of wants and needs. Okay, wants and needs you cannot avoid, you have to pay for it. Wants could still be, you may want a dress but you don't really need it because you'll already be having other dresses. So 100% salary has to divide it among these things. Fixed amount 50% expenses, 30% could be your needs, and then 20% could be your investment. So in your salary you have to define that this much amount I have to save and invest. So that's how it will start.
Okay, thank you.
So after school, we're basically young adults entering into college life and all. We have our bank accounts and everything. So to manage that, we haven't been specifically taught anything in school about how to manage our finances or how to pay our taxes and everything. So do you think there should be a separate subject about financial?
Right, so it's a great question, and in our industry, the financial experts that I speak to, we often discuss that we need to conduct workshops in schools because it's not part of curriculum. And I think government has come out with the new education policy, and in that policy there are some skill-oriented programs that they want to launch. So in that, financial literacy is one of the topics. So something is going on. There are some organizations in discussion with schools that these kind of topics should be taught in school, but it may take time because all government-related things, it takes time to process. But what you can do is that you can reach out to your principal, the decision making people in your school, and tell them that this is what we want, and please reach out to people in the industry who can conduct these kind of workshops, and we will also be happy to conduct these kind of workshops in your school. So that's the way to do it. Children need to be maybe reaching out to their parents or school teachers that we want it, please do it for ourselves.
We just talked about the younger generation, but I want to know about the elder generation right now. So Indians right now are not very, they don't have a tendency to take risks that often, and hence they're very hesitant in investing, especially in the stocks. So how do you think that will change in the future? Will it increase, or what exact change would that take?
So it has already started happening. Just today in the paper, Mint newspaper, my colleague has done a story that how stock market money has changed their lives and how it has impacted them. So one lady could take good amount of maternity break because she has accumulated good amount of money by investing in stock market. So do read that story. So that change is happening in the country, and financialization of the economy is happening. What we mean by financialization of the economy? It means that household savings are going into financial instruments, not just FDs, not just bank fixed deposits, but in the stock market, mutual funds, stocks, different, and even debt mutual funds, so different financial instruments. So it is happening, and now you youngsters, as you will grow old, since you have that knowledge, so obviously you will put your money in the stock market. So that's how India will change. When next generation people, millennials and Gen Z, when they will start investing in the stock market, that's how India will grow.
That was very insightful and very helpful. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Ranita. Okay, so now that we are ending the episode, closer to the end, any questions for me?
That was really, really helpful. So I would just like to know if you have any personal advice for all of us.
One personal advice that I advise everyone when I speak to young generation is that read a lot. So my most important advice, every day, please read financial newspapers. It's very important, and I'm emphasizing newspaper, not the website, because newspaper will give you full-fledged picture of what is going on. Online, when you read, then what happens? It's based on the kind of stories you have been reading previously. So it's based on your interest. But in the newspaper, you get good information. Everything is there. So please start reading. That will surely help you. And second advice, start investing from this day on.
Okay, thank you so much. That was very helpful.
And Maya, I want you to discuss money matters with your parents today. I really want them to start their investment journey.
I will. Thank you so much.
Great. Really pleasure having you all here.
We had a lot of fun and this was very insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you liked the episode today. I am available on X by my handle Apri_Sharma, and you can also look for my name on LinkedIn, which is Aprajita Sharma, and you'll be able to find my profile. For more such interesting podcasts, keep tuning into stsmartcast.com. Thank you.
To stay updated on this podcast, follow us at HT Smartcast on all the major social media platforms. To listen to more such podcasts, log on to www.htsmartcast.com.